Welcome to Fractured Chaos.
You ever find yourself ignoring every red flag, every screaming gut feeling, every rational thought just because the sex is that damn good? Yeah, that's where I was, laying next to a man who couldn't pay for Wi-Fi but could have me screaming like a banshee by noon. And if that sounds crazy, just wait. It gets worse. His name is Devin. 6'2", fine as hell, skin like dark chocolate, and a voice so smooth it could melt anxiety. He had tattoos creeping up his arms and that devilish smirk that makes you think, yeah, I know better, but one more time won't hurt. He had the kind of stroke that makes you cancel your plans, delete your ex's number, and start thinking maybe you don't need therapy after all. But while he was blowing my back out, my bank account was blowing into overdraft. He didn't have a job, claimed he was an entrepreneur, but the only hustle I ever saw was him selling old sneakers on Facebook Marketplace and reposting money manifestation reels on Instagram. I paid for the rent, I paid for the food, I paid his parking tickets. I even let him borrow my car, twice. It came back with more miles and less gas every time. He made it sound like it was temporary. I just need some time to get back on my feet, Jazz. I got potential, baby. You know that. I later found out he was still legally married to a woman who lived just 10 minutes away. And guess what? She was pregnant. So why didn't I leave? Because every time I got fed up and tried to cut him off, he'd put it down so good I'd forget my own name. I wasn't in love. I was in lust and in debt. He kept telling me his big break was coming. Next month, babe. I just need a little more time. I got a meeting with a distributor. Distributor of what? Lies? I'd complain to my friends, but they'd roll their eyes and say, Jazz, you're addicted. That boy got Demon D. And you know what? They were right. One night, he mumbled in his sleep, don't let her find the photos. That hit different. Photos? I went through his phone. He had it under his pillow like it was sacred. Passcode was the same as always, his ex-wife's birthday. I should have known. Inside was a locked folder labeled Project G. I opened it. My hands were shaking like I was defusing a bomb. Inside, dozens of pictures of me, sleeping, in the shower, crying. Photos I never took. There were videos, too. One of me singing off-key in the kitchen, another of me crying on the phone with my mom. They were all time-stamped. He'd been collecting this stuff for months. One of the videos was sent to an email address with my last name, my cousin's email, the one I hadn't talked to in years, not since that Thanksgiving fight over a guy she swore she didn't sleep with. I called my cousin. She sounded off, said she had to go, hung up fast. I drove straight to her place and waited outside in my car. I didn't even blink. Hours passed. She never came home. Her neighbor told me, funny, she said she was moving back in with her husband. Tall guy, dreadlocks, drives that beat-up Civic. Devin. I showed up to Devin's mom's house unannounced. She always liked me, said I had wife potential. Guess who answered the door in nothing but a robe and bonnet? My cousin. She looked me dead in the face and said, what are you doing here? Like I was the crazy one. Turns out Devin was bouncing between us like rent-free ping pong. My cousin was sending him money too. He told her I was his unstable roommate, who was obsessed with him. Told me she was his cousin who had a mental breakdown and needed a place to stay. I played dumb, smiled, acted like it was all news to me. He used my card to pay for her birthday trip to Mexico, while I thought he was at a job interview. I checked my bank statements. One of the transactions had a memo, final payment. Final payment for what? I stopped playing nice. I started playing chess. I told him I was pregnant. I wasn't. But the way he froze, he turned ghost white, like the walls were closing in. I followed him, tracked his location through an old app we used to share our ETAs. He didn't know I still had access. He went to a rundown storage unit on the edge of town, looked around 3 times before unlocking the gate. Inside, stacks of electronics, clothes with tags, purses, all stolen. He was running a theft ring, using me and my cousin as his bank accounts and alibis. He even had a burner phone in there, with texts to someone saved as Queen G. The ringleader, his real girlfriend, the one who posted happy 5 years with him that same week. I saw the post while he was eating cereal on my couch. I knew I had to get out, but I wanted him to hurt first. Emotionally, I played sweet, gave him a nice dinner, wine, lingerie, the works. He fell for it, told me he loved me, said we could start fresh. As he passed out drunk, I whispered, hope you remember this night. It'll be your last good memory for a while. I reported everything, the fraud, the storage unit, his real girlfriend's Instagram. The police raided the place 3 days later. They didn't arrest Devin. They arrested my cousin. Her name was on the lease. Her fingerprints were on the stolen goods. Devin disappeared. Phone off. Socials gone. Like he never existed. I tried to move on. Therapy, meditation, blocking his number. But a week later, I got a voicemail from an unknown number. You think you won, but you only saw what I wanted you to see. The background had a baby crying and a woman laughing, a voice I knew too well. I took a pregnancy test, positive. Do I regret it? Every second. But I also learned something. If the sex is so good it makes you stupid, it's not a relationship. It's a drug, and baby, I finally checked into rehab. He was broke, toxic, and dangerous. And yeah, the sex was unforgettable. But so is the pain. And I'd rather be celibate than a casualty. So if you're listening to this thinking, damn, this sounds like me, get out now. Because the next shocking reveal might be the one that ruins your whole life. And trust me, good sex ain't worth that.